The three-day B20 or Business 20 meeting has kicked off in the national capital. I'm coming to you right from the B20 venue, the Taj Palace Hotel in New Delhi. And I'm joined by a very special guest, Dr. Mukesh Aghi, the president of the US-India Strategic Partnership Forum. Thanks very much, Dr. Aghi, for joining us this morning. You know, while just entering here, we could see so many thoughts buzzing, so many global leaders. The B20 platform is the platform for the global business leaders. It's the official G20 business leader discussion and dialogue forum. What do you think should be priorities for the B20 meeting this time?
Well, when you look at the theme of G20, one world, one mission, one people, I think that also dwells into on the business side. Today and the next 2 days, India will be the center of global business leadership. And it's important that we focus on economic growth of not only India but the rest of the world also. You have to understand over 1 billion people live below the poverty line.
Right.
And I think it's our moral responsibility as businesses to look at how while we drive quarterly profit, annual profit, how do we get uplift the people living below the poverty line also. So it is important that we talk about the topic, leveraging technology also from that perspective.
Right, and in fact that's the theme of B20 also, RAISE, which means it's responsible, it's inclusive and it's sustainable businesses that they want to promote. That while of course we focused on development for the last few decades, now we want to focus on equitable development. And that's specifically important for a country like India. So with that mission of G20 and the mission of B20 given, what do you think India's role could be, how India could shape its global future with the G20 meeting and with the B20 meeting, with global leaders coming here in the national capital of India? How could that change India's global future?
So you have to understand the rise of India is a rise of rest of the world. India will grow 7%. It will basically accelerate growth in the rest of the world. If India continues to grow next 20 years, uplift its people, it is going to uplift the rest of the world also. So that's one. Number two is climate. It is important that we're seeing this summer, hurricanes and tornadoes and fires all across the world.
July was the hottest year on record.
On the record itself. So I think it's important we keep an eye on the climate while we focus on economic growth also. Then third factor is inclusiveness. It's not just bringing the people who are below the poverty line. Women empowerment is so critical because today in India the women in workforce is 15% and the last 10 years is coming down on an annual basis, which is not healthy. All studies have shown that if we include women in workforce, it will take India's GDP by almost $27 billion. So I think if you focus on just three broad themes, that's going to help not only India, but the rest of the world also.
Right. And Dr. Aghi, one question that I want to ask you is that it is a great moment. It's the big global moment for India to be hosting the G20 summit. But of course, every partner country will get the presidency, one year or the other. But why is India's presidency specifically an outlier? First, we've seen one of the largest number of in-participation meetings over the last few months. We've seen over 150 delegate meetings. Along with that, India's G20 comes at a time when the global economy has been facing several challenges after the Russia-Ukraine war. And India's stand on Russia has also been rather soft and it has raised eyebrows in the West. So do you think it comes at a critical time when the world economy is at a key juncture?
Well, it's not just the world economy. The world order is at key juncture. What we are seeing is a chasm coming in with China trying to bring its own order while we have an established order. So there is a divide taking place between the United States and China in democratic world and autocratic world itself. That has an impact economically. So when the world made China its manufacturing base, it is fine. Now, as the chasm gets widened between the United States and United States and China, the global supply chain gets impacted. India has a critical role to become China plus one from that perspective.
Right.
So I think that's why India has to play a very pivotal role, not only just providing secure supply chain, but also becoming a market for these companies.
Thanks very much, Dr. Aghi, for
Thank you,
joining
my
us,
pleasure.
for speaking
Thank you.
to us
Thanks
this
a
morning.
lot.
Thanks very much. So that's the word we're getting from the B20 summit here in the national capital. That gives you a sense of the themes that this crucial G20 business forum will be discussing. In New Delhi, with camera person Rakesh Singh, Priyanshi Sharma for NDTV.